So something just happened that has sent shockwaves all around the globe. For the very first time, Russia has used a brand new hypersonic missile called the Oreshnik in combat. This single act is escalating the war in Ukraine, and honestly, it's challenging the very idea of modern defense. So what is this weapon, and what does its arrival on the battlefield really mean for all of us?
Okay, let's just dive right into this. We have to start with the central claim, the one that changes pretty much everything. This is a weapon designed to be completely unstoppable. We're talking about a missile that's so fast and so unpredictable that it could make existing air defense systems almost useless. And here's why. Just look at that number. The Oreshnik travels at a staggering 13,600 kilometers per hour. To put that in perspective, that's more than 10 times the speed of sound. We're talking Mach 10. At that kind of velocity, the time from launch to impact is just a few minutes, which basically shrinks the window for any kind of response down to almost nothing. So what exactly went down? Well, for the first time ever, Russia has unleashed this incredibly advanced weapon in its war against Ukraine. This isn't just another missile strike. It marks a huge technological and strategic escalation in the conflict.
Now, if you look at the timeline, you'll see a pretty contested story starting to form. The missile was first tested in late 2024, and then boom, its first combat use targets the area around Lviv. Now, Russia's official story is that this was payback for a drone attack on a presidential residence. But Ukraine has come out and said, no way, flatly denying that any attack like that ever happened. They're calling it a completely false excuse to justify using this new weapon. But what really makes this missile so different? Why is that word hypersonic such a game changer? Well, it turns out it's about a lot more than just raw speed. It really all comes down to the official definition. See, for a weapon to be truly hypersonic, it has to do two things. First, it has to fly faster than Mach 5, sure. But second, and this is the crucial part, it has to be able to change direction during its flight. It's that combination, that mix of insane speed and an unpredictable path that creates a whole new category of threat. And right here, you can see the core difference in action. A conventional ballistic missile, it follows this high, predictable arc, kind of like a super fast cannonball. It's quick, yeah, but you can calculate its path and try to intercept it. The Oreshnik, on the other hand, can actually maneuver inside the atmosphere. It can zigzag, and that makes it almost impossible for today's defense systems to track it, let alone shoot it down.
And get this, the Oreshnik is based on an intercontinental ballistic missile, the RS-26. This means it can carry multiple warheads that can all be targeted independently. So just imagine, one missile launches, separates in the air, and then strikes several different locations all at once. That capability multiplies the threat and dramatically increases its destructive power.
But the Oreshnik isn't just a piece of hardware. Its deployment, that was a very carefully calculated move in a much bigger psychological game. This quote from Vladimir Putin himself is absolutely key. He's not just bragging about how powerful the missile is. He's trying to build a narrative, one that's designed to paralyze his opponents with fear and uncertainty, suggesting this is a weapon so powerful it actually blurs the line between a conventional and a nuclear war. And that is the real message here. By using a system that could carry a nuclear weapon, but with a conventional warhead, Russia is showing that it can escalate things massively without actually crossing that nuclear red line. It's a way of flexing its muscles that keeps everyone guessing and puts them under incredible psychological pressure. So here's the big question. Is this weapon really the unstoppable game changer that Russia says it is? Well, like with so much in this conflict, there are two totally different stories clashing on the world stage right now. On one side, you have the official Russian narrative, and it's being pushed from the very top. The message is clear. Oreshnik is an invincible superweapon, a technological masterpiece that makes all other defenses obsolete. It's a pure projection of absolute power. But then on the other side, you have Western officials who are seriously pushing back on that. Their assessment is way more cautious. They're suggesting that Russia is probably exaggerating its capabilities for propaganda, that the missile is still mostly experimental, and that they probably don't have very many of them. So what we're really seeing is an information war playing out in real time. Russia is pushing this image of a revolutionary weapon that's ready to go and can change the entire war. The West is countering, saying it's likely overblown, still in the testing phase, and not some magic bullet. The truth, it's probably somewhere in the middle. But this is as much a battle for the narrative as it is about the actual hardware. But here's the thing. Regardless of the hype, the fact that even one Oreshnik missile was deployed, well, that doesn't just affect the immediate battlefield. It's creating these massive strategic ripples that are already reshaping global security.
Let's just walk through the consequences here. The strike hit near Lviv, which is just miles from the border of Poland, a NATO member. Ukraine's foreign minister called it a global threat almost immediately. The timing also seems to have torpedoed some behind-the-scenes peace talks. It forces NATO to completely rethink its entire defense strategy. It's fueling a new global arms race for hypersonic weapons, and, this is huge, Russia has already given these missiles to its allied Belarus, which completely changes the security balance in Eastern Europe.
And all of this leaves us with a final, pretty chilling thought. The first time the Oreshnik was used in combat isn't just another headline in a long and brutal war. We might be witnessing the actual dawn of a new, faster, and much, much more volatile era in modern warfare. The age of hypersonic weapons, it's not a theory anymore. It's here.